friends, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Erin and I do mostly budgeting videos like the one you're about to see here. Tuning in. If you are new here and you do enjoy budgeting content, including real numbers, this may be a channel that you would enjoy. So if you would like to consider subscribing, I would love if you stuck around and did so. I have my calculator ready to go, and today we're just going to go over my first paycheck of April, and my husband's retirement. So if you're wondering, hey girl, how old are you? Why is your husband retired? I'm in my mid-40s and he is 50, and he took an early retirement because he had lost his job and become a displaced worker. But he is working full-time again and he is doing really well. I just saw his commission for April, but I haven't decided whether or not I'm going to share that because I think that I don't want it to come off as I'm giving some kind of vibe where, oh my gosh, look how well we're doing, like whatever. Because if you know me or you've been around for a while, you know that, and I'm so sorry, my neighbors are digging out all the concrete in their garage, which is like facing our bedroom window. And they are, I have no idea why they're doing it, but the people that moved in are like totally dissatisfied with everything because the guy talks to my husband. So they are busting out all the concrete in the garage because they're like, oh my gosh, it's like all like in chunks and everything. And when we looked at it, I was like, oh my gosh, our garage floor is way worse than this. Like, what would he do? He would like die if he saw ours. So he's busting out all the concrete, and I think what they're planning to do is they're going to put down a full pad of new concrete, and then they're going to go over it with nature stone. And I'm like, do you guys not have anything else to do? Like, seriously, they are always doing something. Before they moved in, this is getting off on a real tangent, but before they moved in, before they bought the house, the lady who owned it put on a brand new deck off the back, their sliding glass door, and nice patio and a full deck. And the guy was so dissatisfied, they ripped out the brand new deck and put in another one that looks way worse. I don't even know what he was thinking. But anyways, I don't know. Anyway, let's get on to this. So we're doing a budget with me, and this is my old weekly check-in. So, you know, I'm always trying, guys. Wait, I gotta get back on track. Okay, so about the commission. My husband has had some really amazing months this year so far with his new job. He is in sales and it's commission-based. But last year, you know, when you get toward the second half of the year and toward, you know, the Christmas months and stuff, I mean, it changes dramatically. So I would think in November he made $500 and some on his commission. So if I were to share with you his commission, I don't want it to look like, hey, he makes this every single month and why do I even work and blah blah blah. It just all balances in the end at the end of the year. So he'll have good months and he'll have not so good months. But we're coming off of him being laid off and losing his job and me getting my hours cut. So a lot of this is just really giving us a sense of security once again. But I'm just not sure I want to share it because I did receive a nasty comment the last time I did. And I think it was because he got his back pay for his retirement that he's been waiting on for however long. And I was like, okay, I really don't need this because what the person was saying wasn't even accurate. So I'm just not sure how I want to go about it. And I love doing real numbers here, but if it's going to cause me like stress and hate and negative feedback, then there's no reason for me to do it. You know what I mean? But I'm going to go over my paycheck, which is pretty, I think, average. And I'm going to go over his retirement, which he gets because he put in almost 27 years at his job and he was a certain age. So that was his option to take an early payout at a reduced rate for life. All right, now that all that has been said, I created this new paycheck budget schematic. Do you guys like it? I think it's way better than what I had done before. This is good. I really like this, but I think this is just laid out a little bit better for my brain. So I told you guys I was working on some printables for you guys that I'm not going to be charging you for, which is still accurate. I'm just getting everything, you know, the way I want it, and I'll show you the monthly one as well. Here's what that looks like. I wanted it to be a little bit more colorful than usual. I'm used to a lot of muted tones, like in my decor, in my clothing, you know, in my life. But I thought, you know what, why not add just a little bit more color and see how it works out? And so this is kind of where we're at. My printer is giving me some issues. So if you see like this line here, that really doesn't belong. But anyway, so I think we're going to go ahead and use one of these today. And we're going to talk about income. So we're 5 minutes and 30 seconds in approximately before my intro is added. So I'm sorry if that was a little bit long-winded, but I just wanted to make sure that I was relaying everything, you know, and being honest with you guys and all that. So today's date is April 7th. This is just when I'm preparing this budget sheet. This isn't my actual payday. My actual payday is the 8th. I get paid every other Friday, and my husband's paydates are the 1st for his retirement, right around this time between the 7th and 8th for his commission, and he does get paid twice a month, a base pay that is then removed from his commission before he gets paid. So it's almost like a draw, but he doesn't have to pay it back if he doesn't make a certain amount of sales. So on April 1st, we got his retirement check. And so that went down just a little bit because their part of the insurance, their health insurance went up, which is totally fine because it's still super, super reasonable. But I just wanted to mention that because it is a little bit different than the first couple months that I've been tracking it. So my paycheck is actually tomorrow, but it hit my bank account. My bank usually puts in direct deposits a day early or so. So it's going to be my paycheck number 1 for April. So let me get those numbers. All right. So his new retirement is $23.25.56. Now, had he been able to put in all of his years, and that means 30 plus without getting displaced or losing his job, whatever, this probably would have almost doubled. And that's a private pension that they pay into and that their company also paid into, like a joint venture. It probably would have been around $4,000 as opposed to $23.25. So if you don't meet that 30-year threshold, your payment for life goes down immensely. Now, when he's of age, like all of us, when we're of a certain age, we can collect either our state retirement, Social Security, whatever we pay into. So he'll still get Social Security, but I just wanted to mention that this is why it's at this rate. Now, some of you may be thinking, well, why didn't he just, do the transfer and, put the years in and stuff? And it's just time we couldn't get back. Both of our parents, our moms are, they're elderly, and we would have had to pay for 2 households because I couldn't leave my job, and you just can't get that time back with family. And it would have been really difficult because he wouldn't have been a car ride away. He would have been a plane ride away. So for where they wanted to send to him. And I have to say that this is probably going to be one of the last times I explain the situation because I know that it's becoming really, really broken record. It's becoming a broken record for me to tell it, but I'm sure also a broken record for those of you who are regulars here to hear it. So I don't want that to, keep going on, and you guys are going to be like, oh my gosh, enough. Like, you feel like you've been living the story. So the income for this schematic, this check-in, is $3,862.36. So what we have here is a space for me to put in bills, like if I were to pay bills from here. variable expenses, which is where I'll come back and I'll do my cash stuffing. I will refer back to this sheet for the coming week. And then here, this is where I will notate any savings for my sinking funds. So this is a start, but it's also going to serve as my tool to use when I do my variables, my sinking funds. Not so much my fixed expenses, because we do pay those a month in advance. So I'll do those separately, but I just wanted to mention that this is something I will come back to based on where I'm at throughout the month. So the next time I do a paycheck budget, it'll be different. Like then this one will be archived and then I'll use the next one. For the monthly, it does look a little bit different because it allows me to list all the income sources for the whole entire month. My sinking fund amounts for the month, my bills, variables, savings, miscellaneous. This is all my total expenses. And this is like a receipt down here, which just serves as a recap. But my variables are over here. So I don't know I guess what's in the paper. My variables are over here. So basically I would list groceries here in like 4 to 5 weeks worth, depending on how many Fridays or whatever there are in the month that I'm prepping. So I would add the total amount for the month, or gas for our cars, the total amount for the month, rather than a smaller little snapshot of that, where this would just be for a week or 2 weeks, depending on how I come back to this, because I do get paid every other week and he gets paid twice a month, and it's very complicated, which is why I need these sheets. But here is where I can list all of our monthly bills. So this would be like a mortgage, gas, electric, utilities, expenses, things like that. Or if I had a credit card balance going, I could put that here. So I'm not even sure, speaking of credit cards, I do have a credit card that I applied for because we were going to do some home renovation that we still haven't done. And it was a new American Express, and it allowed me 15 months of zero interest purchase flexibility. So anything I purchased within the first 15 months would have zero interest. Now, if I didn't have it all paid off by the end of that 15-month term, I would accrue all the interest from day one. But no, that's not true. That's not true. I would accrue the interest on the current balance that I was carrying. It's different from when you go to I've made purchases for furniture before at a furniture store, and it was like you would get zero interest for 48 months or something like that. But if you didn't have it paid off by the end of 48 months, then they tacked on the entire 48 months worth of interest. So that's different. The American Express is interest-free till the end of 15 months. And then if you have a balance at that time, then you would start accruing at 15 months in 1 day. So I'm sorry, I explained that wrong the first time. But I was thinking about paying off our pool that way. And I have a whole video and explanation about that. And using his commission check toward, maybe our mortgage, pay down that we're trying to do, or to subsidize the rest of my mom's carpet that I want to purchase for her, new flooring for her condo. I'm just not sure how I want to do it yet. But I feel like when you have an offer like that for a credit card, as long as you're secure in the fact that you are going to be able to pay it, and you are getting 0% interest, why not use somebody else's money sometimes? I mean, I'm not saying that that's something that you should get into as a regular practice or whatever, but in certain situations, I really don't see the issue with it. So anyway, you have to let me know what you think. This one, oh my gosh, my printer was not feeding correctly, so this one is just trash. So I'm still sick. I'm still trying to get better. This is really crazy. But you know what? I thank the Lord that I'm not in the hospital, because the last time I got a virus like this, I was in the hospital for almost a week, and it was a total disaster. So I think I want to recap in my planner, as I was telling you guys I was going to start doing on my monthly layout, because I wanted that overall snapshot. If I opened up this planner and I could see every single thing going on. Oops. All right. So I'm going to put on tomorrow is going to be my pay, number 1 for the month. And oh my gosh, they are out there having a good time. I don't know if you can hear them, but holy moly. My pay was $1,536.80. and I'm an hourly employee, and that equates to about 26 something an hour. And then they take out obviously all my taxes and expenditures, you know, that I am responsible for, and also my portion of my insurance at work. So I think that's the way it works out. I haven't checked my hourly rate in a long time though, but that is for 80 hours. So you know, I haven't had an increase in a really long time, and I've been at my job for a long time. So I just wanted to clarify that, because I don't really get into the nitty-gritty of my paycheck, even though, you know, that might be of interest, but I just don't. So I'm putting the retirement income on the second, even though it was actually for the first, because I just don't have the space. So I'm just going to draw a little arrow. All right, so I just drew a little arrow to the first. And then commission, I'm just going to write on today's date, because I did see where it was hitting our bank. And I'm just going to leave that here for now. I would really like to know what your thoughts are. I mean, you know, an honest take on what I mentioned and how I explain that. And then I'm going to get into my variables. So that'll be a separate video, but I'll be showing you guys that. And I think that's pretty much it. I think I'm caught up. So I need to get some cash, and I'll be stuffing my binder. This is what I use for our shopping and things like that. And basically my husband did a lot of that this week because I've been so sick. But I'll be stuffing this, and I'm getting this ready for the coming week. And I think there's some other things that I needed to take care of, but basically I think that I am pretty much caught up for now. So I'm going to put this back in the month of April, and I'll be referring to this for my variables. And I will let you know when these are available for you guys to download. Like I said, I have decided that I'm going to create quite a few printables for you guys, just as a thank you for all your support on my channel and for watching and for being a subscriber. That's how you hear about this stuff. So thanks again for watching. I hope you guys are doing well. And as always, I hope I see you guys in my next video. Take care.